Now, look, I like Patrick Bet-David. I like his crew. I like his show. Show's good. I like his interviews. He talks to Andrew Tate. Very good show with Andrew Tate. Talk to Dan Bilzerian. Great show with Dan Bilzerian. Two friends of mine. They're both great. So I think he's a patriot. I think he loves America. He's we have some disagreements, but he's a pretty conservative guy. I consider him in some ways a fellow traveler on some issues. But he's like refusing to not host me on the show. Now, it's his show. It's his prerogative. But it does constitute a refusal because people are requesting it. The fans are requesting it on my show, on his show. People want to see it. And the reason it should be said that people want to see it is because it's going to be an interesting conversation. Whatever you want to say about me, good, bad, or ugly, I don't think anyone can dispute I'm an original thinker. I have an interesting perspective, a novel perspective. That's why people want me on their shows. I bring the views. And if you look at the comments section of any show that I've done, especially recently, people love it. I did a show with Sam Hyde, with Bradley Martin. I did a debate with Dinesh D'Souza. And the comments are all positive. And even the people that disagree say, well, it was thought-provoking, to say the least. So people have been asking for this collaboration for a while. People are asking me, when are you going to get on his show? And I say, well, it's his show. You got to ask him. And he says he doesn't want to have me on because I say the N-word. Okay. I don't agree with it. I accept that that's your explanation. But then today he has on the Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu. And that's where you got to say, isn't that a double standard? And don't get me wrong, I'm not being obtuse. I'm not being deliberately obtuse. I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to be fair. I tell it like it is. I understand that Netanyahu is a world leader. So there's a different set of expectations that govern that role when you're a world leader. But Netanyahu is credibly accused of a genocide by the International Court of Justice, International Criminal Court. He was charged with war crimes. And by the way, that's not the Palestinians saying that. The same international bodies that charged Netanyahu with war crimes charged Hamas with war crimes. That's the part that gets buried. They say the ICC is politically motivated. They charged Hamas and Netanyahu with war crimes. And many European governments that are pro-Israel have recognized these rulings as legitimate. So it's not just me. There's massive protests inside of Israel right now about Netanyahu's handling of the war. They believe he's dragging out the war to prolong his time in office. But of course, why do you have the conversation with somebody like that? Because it's an interesting conversation. It's a big get. It's a big show. It's an interesting interview. But then when it concerns me, I said the N-word, that's the problem? So someone like with Netanyahu, we're going to suspend judgment on the famine, the war crimes, the political assassinations. We're going to suspend the judgment on that for the sake of the interview. But with me, I said nigger on the show. And by the way, let's just be adults. I don't respect adults that say the N-word. Are we babies? Ooh, he said the F word. Mommy, he said the F word. He said the S word. He said the D word. We're all adults here. I will not be treated in this diminutive way by black people. What you say, cracker? You can't say. You think you could say that? Yeah. Yeah, and who's going to tell me I can't? You? Why? Because you're black? I'm a grown-ass man. I'm an American. I can say whatever word I like. I could say any swear word, racial slur. Now, granted, we all recognize it's in poor taste to say these words in and out of context, to say the C word towards a woman, to say the N word towards a black person. We understand this. But to penalize somebody for uttering the word, like I just did, without context, just to say, that's the word you got a problem with. What is the word? Nigger. If I say N-word, I'm just making you say it in your head. You all know the word I'm talking about. So on one side, you've got famine, genocide, ethnic cleansing, political assassinations, evading prosecution, arguably taking power, centralizing power in the executive. And on the other side, you have a white guy that deigned to say a racial slur. And you point this out and you say, okay, you have on Andrew Tate, he said the N-word. You have on the war criminal. Isn't that a bit of an extraordinary standard then that's being applied to me? And I actually asked him this on Twitter today. I said, so your problem with me, because he said this on Twitter, he said, well, you know, he says this word and we want it to be a respectful conversation. I said, you've had on Andrew Tate who says the N-word. And by the way, many of your guests, I'm sure, say it in private too. I just say it in public. I said, and I'm nothing but respectful on other debates or conversations. He says, well, yeah, but Tate is black and you're white. Oh, so because I'm white, I can't say it. Tate can say it because he's half white. I can't say it because I'm 80% white. Does that even make sense? And that's even besides the point. Aren't we interested in conversations? As if the restriction is I can't say it on your show, I'll play by the rules. I'm a respectful person. I don't even swear on other people's shows. I try to be respectful, but if that's the reason, it's a little crazy. And then he turns it into, well, you're respectful on shows, but when you react to some shows on your show, then you're intense. Okay, so now it's my reaction off the... What are we doing? And look, you know, I like the guy. If he doesn't want to have me on the show, it's no hard feelings. But I think you lose a lot of credibility. I'm going to give you a little advice. He's giving me advice saying, you know, you're not going to get far using that word. Okay, point taken. And in some sense, I agree with that. I agree with the thrust of what he's saying. My advice to you is if you let something like that get in the way of a good conversation, I think people are going to lose a lot of respect for you. I think you're going to lose a lot of credibility. And I think if you want people to look at your platform as an independent platform that has interesting conversations, that isn't politically correct, you can't have this double standard. And you can't hide anymore. It's 2025. Everyone's on Twitter now. The gates are open. So if you're maintaining this double standard, refusing a guest that is highly demanded, a hot guest that is in high demand over something like that, and it seems like you got this arbitrary standard, I'm telling you, no one's buying it. Everybody's thinking the reason you're not having them on is because it's too controversial and you're afraid of upsetting somebody. That's what everybody's thinking. So look, I mean, I've done a lot of big shows. It would be a big opportunity for me. It's your show, it's your prerogative, but everybody's going to say you lose a lot of credibility when it seems like you're making stuff up like that. And when you're playing games about N-word, I mean, are we not all adults? It's words, it's language. You bring on people that bomb little kids and girls and you treat them with respect and dignity. Someone that says the N-word, that's beyond the pale. I mean, let's be serious here. So I think it's a little silly, but it's his show. I respect it. It's his show. It's his prerogative. I don't feel entitled to come on his show, but look, you have a show. You have a platform. The expectation is you use the platform to have the most interesting conversations. I'm a hot guest right now. It's in high demand, and you're refusing it, and you're given a reason. Now, if you had said, well, I don't have to tell you my reason, that'd be one thing, but the reason doesn't really make a ton of sense. I think everyone kind of sees that, but it's your call. Aside from that, I got to be honest with you. Netanyahu is clearly hitting the podcast circuit for propaganda purposes. Everybody knows this. It's so obvious. Netanyahu goes on Nelk. He's going on Patrick Bet-David. He's going on other shows. And we all know this is damage control. There was a poll that just came out this week, and it said that for the first time, a poll of the majority of Americans shows that more people in the general audience are sympathetic to Palestine than to Israel. That's the whole population. For the first time ever. And it's not surprising. The American population is more sympathetic to Palestine than to Israel. And with the young people, it's even worse. With the younger demographic and even the Republicans, they're more sympathetic to Palestine than the older generations. And so they're in real trouble here. And it's totally deserved, by the way. It's because we see it. We see the numbers. We see the videos. It's all over Twitter. It's all over TikTok. It is a genocide. It is an ethnic cleansing. It is a forced starvation. It is countless women and children dying. It has raged on now for nearly 2 years. It's totally asymmetrical. This is a nuclear-armed country with the unconditional backing of the world superpower, using the most advanced fighter jets, the most advanced tanks, drones, munitions, waging a war on a civilian population with no standing army. A population that 40% of them are under the age of 18. With no standing army, no government, no military, no ability even to counterattack. They've got no armor. They've got no planes. They've got nothing. And everyone in the whole world is saying, this is shameful. What is happening in Palestine, this is one of those things that will go down in history. Like apartheid, like the Holocaust, like the Armenian genocide. Whatever you think about these various things, whatever you think about them, this is one of those moments that will go down in history. Again, whatever you think about the truth of these various things I've just listed out, it will go down as one of the most shameful things in contemporary history. And history will recall who supported it and who didn't. And Netanyahu right now is on a podcast tour to justify it and defend it. To the Nelk brothers, to Patrick Bet-David, anybody who will listen, defending the forced starvation, defending the killing of women and children. It's pure evil.